Hi and welcome. My name is Milan, and in this masterclass, you'll discover the unique and powerful signature soulmate method to know exactly how to find true lasting love and attract in your ideal dream partner, soulmate, twin flame, and special someone without waiting years or wasting decades and without ending up heartbroken, empty, alone, or full of longing again. You'll discover how to successfully date the right types and how to stop wasting time and repel Mr. Wrongs. You'll discover the secret to magnetizing your soulmate attraction to accelerate finding the one for you. You'll discover the biggest fatal mistakes most of us make in our dating and relationship adventures, and the right ingredients and recipe for your unique Mr. Right, as well as the 3 biggest myths about dating and relationships. So if you want to start dating worthy men who are worth your time and affection, and you've been experiencing that digital dating fatigue from trolling hundreds, if not thousands, of possibly fake profiles, you've experienced the lies, the secrets, the deceit, and the deception, the frustration and the disappointment, and somehow things always end up in those it's complicated or dead-end places. Or maybe you've experienced divorce and loss, maybe you're dating with kids in the mix, or you want children and your clock is ticking, and somehow it seems like you always attract in the wrong types. You don't want to settle for less than, and you're a strong, independent, and deserving woman. You're just not feeling fully alive and loved in your current love life situation. So you end up losing time, trust, and hope instead of growing love, joy, and happiness. My promise to you today is you'll get exactly how to find, attract, and invite the one into your life better, easier, and quicker, so you can finally call in your soulmate and twin flame and live in true lasting love once and for all. There's nothing to buy in this webinar. So as you're going through life, for some reason it just feels like life keeps serving up that invisible, love-challenged cloud following us around and keeping true love out of our lives. And after enough explosions, we start feeling like we're radioactive, and maybe all that lightning strikes that starts those wild forest fires ends up being something that our relationships end up giving us too much of what we don't want instead of what we do want. Well, the good news is these circumstances we oftentimes find ourselves in are only symptoms of the real problem issues. And all these problem circumstances and situations are not the problem. The answers and the fixes will show up when we shift and up-level our approach and our tools. And that's what the signature soulmate method is all about. How to get there now, not someday. So buckle in. Here we go. The signature soulmate method difference is in the unique approach and the powerful tools, all inside of simple steps, to allow you to easily bring out your unique heart space desires with the unique approach, and the use of powerful tools like how to magnetize and accelerate your soulmate attraction with specific techniques that harness the full power of the law of attraction, to be able to align your dreams and your desires with simple, practical action steps in days and weeks instead of years and decades. You'll be able to cut through all the challenges, the noise, and the BS of the digitally driven dates that have that built-in limitation of quantity over quality, or the dating apps and dating sites that have all those fake profiles and all that false advertising and dealing with virtual relationships, or the blind dates or getting fixed up with friends of friends that just end up being hit and miss referrals, or the trending bestsellers from Amazon or the New York Times bestseller list, which have great information and wonderful insights, but there's tons of them out there. How many diet books or relationship books or fitness books do you have to go through before you find which ones are the right fit for you? And some of the big, quick shifts using this method that you get are being able to accurately read the signals coming in and then be able to send clear and clean signals going out. You'll be able to grow more confident and competent and capable because you'll learn exactly how to connect deeper and easier, how to explore ideal compatibility quicker, and how to practice effective communication better to shift the outcomes in your life so you can get to where you want to be better, easier, and quicker. What's the secret? Well, none of this is new, earth-shatteringly secret information. I've just put it all together in a unique way with powerful tools inside of simple steps. And chances are you've probably not seen all of this put together like this before and then known how to use it all together in the right sequence and order, the what, the how, and the when, up until now. And how I discovered this method is with my first marriage imploding, I picked up a book about women and men in conversation called You Just Don't Understand by Dr. Deborah Tannen. That really opened my eyes. I realized I didn't know what I didn't know. I then went on to read and study over 5,000 books and attend seminars and do workshops to get to the core of relationships and how human dynamics work, to be able to put it all together and then to be able to streamline it into a process. And the signature soulmate method was born out of my journey to fix my relationships, my marriages, and find a better way of living in partnerships to know what, how, when, and why with the right skills, the right tools, and the right approach. Ironically, getting clear about women's signals in my marriages had women friends coming to me saying, Milan, can you help me with men's signals to be able to read them more clearly, which led me down the road of coaching mostly women to be able to find, attract, and live their dreams. Now, my name is Milan, and I was born in Europe, and I immigrated to the U.S. as a 6-year-old with my parents, and when we got to the U.S., I only knew 3 words of English. I really struggled to fit in as an introvert and a foreigner, and I only came out of my shell through music and sports. I grew up shy, getting bullied for being different, for being odd, for being nerdy, and I could not talk to girls for the life of me. So fear, loneliness, and not fitting in really defined my youth. Fast forward decades, and I've trained, coached, facilitated, and presented to tens of thousands of people about these human transformational tools in the US and the UK and Australia since 2004. And I've successfully coached over 350 private clients on these exact types of relationship and life performance issues over the past 13 years. And I've used these very same tools and this very same method to find my very own soulmate and twin flame, my beautiful, sweet Naseet. Now, helping as many people as I can to be able to find true love and live in true lasting love is my passion, my purpose, and my calling. My story in a nutshell is 4 weddings, 3 wives, 2 divorces, 1 amazing son, and 0 regrets. It was a long and winding road of 35 plus years of searching to find true lasting love, to be able to live my dreams with my soulmate and my family. Along the way, I really had to tap into a deeper place of authentic integrity so I can demonstrate passion daily. I practice what I preach every day. I live, breathe, and passionately demonstrate these tools, skills, and processes professionally and personally every day in my life, and I bring that to the method. And since meeting Naseet in 2008, my life gets better and better every day. Plenty of challenges, lots of them, but knowing what, how, and when has made all the difference in the world. And it really is like a honeymoon that almost never ends. Along the way, compassion and empathy really came through the successes, the failures, and the courage and the willingness to pick myself back up. I'm living my dreams now, but I've had amazing highs and devastating lows. So pain, heartache, heartbreak, and lost hope are all part of my story, and humble pie was served up many a time. I've loved and I've lost and I've given up over and over again, and I persevered until I found the one. Well, my journey took decades, yours doesn't have to. You can avoid wasting years and decades, and you can get results in days and weeks and months instead. So now on to the 3 biggest myths that are stopping us, standing in our way, and slowing us down from finding that special someone and living in true love. Myth number 1, limiting belief to eliminate. There's something wrong, like there's something wrong with me. We end up feeling broken and screwed up, like we can't seem to get it right, and we can make an immediate shift if we start asking better quality questions, like what worked and what didn't work, and why. Because there's nothing wrong with you, there's nothing wrong with me, there's nothing wrong with us. We're not broken. When we shift and start asking the right questions, start using powerful tools and have the right method, and then take focused action and put it into practice, that's what will make all the difference in the world. Myth number 2, and the biggest limiting belief to eliminate, is that because we've been going down this road and true love hasn't found me yet, I guess it's my fate. Well, just because we've been going down that rocky, long, and winding road of trial and error relationships doesn't mean it's fate. Once we shift and realize that it's where we put our focus, the kind of thoughts we have, the words we use, and the actions we take that give us our results and our circumstances, then we make that shift and we shift our focus and we change our thoughts, the words we use, and the actions we take to get new results and desired outcomes. Because the right ingredients with the right recipe will lead to our success. We just need to get the right tools and the right approach in play. Myth number 3. Biggest limiting belief to eliminate: the excuses, the reasons, and the circumstances we find ourselves in. Our relationship history stuff doesn't have to mean we can't give ourselves the present of a new future reality. The past does not have to equal the future. Yes, our past happened, and yes, we have busy, hectic worlds that we live in, but it doesn't have to determine our dreams going by the wayside. And one of the biggest parts of this myth is how we end up telling ourselves, I'm okay and I'm fine. It's one of the biggest con jobs we can tell ourselves, especially if we're yearning inside. We want to be able to shift that. And yes, we do live in a multi-hectic, tasking lifestyle, so where do we find the time? Because we tell ourselves, you know what, my life is already full, I'm good for now. Besides, when I get out there, or when I am out there, there's too many games, it takes too much energy, there's too many headaches, it's too much heartache, it's too much work, and there's too much BS. Well, there's an answer and a solution to that. Getting clarity will help you overcome those excuses and issues so we can focus on making our dreams come true instead. Because clarity is a big key to our success in life, and clarity will help change everything in our dating, our relationships, and in our love life. Clarity helps us to cut through the crap, the noise, all the BS, and the doubts. Clarity helps to build confidence, helps to replace confusion, and helps to dissolve procrastination and allow motivated action to rise to the surface. It'll help build our self-worth, it'll inspire us towards excellence, and it'll crystallize our priorities. And the signature soulmate method difference is built on that clarity. A unique approach with powerful tools and simple steps. There are 4 core pieces inside of 5 simple steps. The first unique core piece is learning how to dial up connection, because knowing how to work with body language and reading the nonverbal signals and tells allows us to have a level of clarity so we read and send signals accurately, which in turn means we don't have to get blindsided or miss opportunities again. And when you dial up connection and dial it down, you'll know how to repel Mr. Wrongs and attract in the right types. Because at the core of it, you'll be able to connect from your heart and not that place of hurt. Core piece number 2, mapping out that ideal, perfect blend, fit, match of complement his and hers, hers and his puzzle pieces is a game changer. Because you'll find a unique way of using compatibility by asking key questions and being able to design ideal word phrases and an authentic profile description or descriptions using clear and effective language that'll help you to stop wasting time and stop those dead-end loops in relationships. And core unique piece number 3 is effective communication, learning how to use it as the glue that allows us to share and bond and grow that love and intimacy, not the acid that dissolves and corrodes the relationships and the trust. Because the single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. And when you get that and when you put it into practice, you realize that effective communication is the #1 key to long-term success and happiness. It'll allow you to use specific languaging to fix those blind spots and those triggers, and to know how to fix those small and big issues, those pebbles and boulders, better, easier, and quicker. Unique core piece number 4 is realizing the depth of chemistry goes beyond the physical attraction. Yeah, we want to be able to tap into that fire of passion, but we want to take that desire and vitality and give it some longevity so the honeymoon flames can flow for years. And you'll learn how to do that by dialing up your vibe, your values, your identities, your beliefs, and your expectations to be able to keep love alive and vibrant for years and decades. And physical chemistry, learning that it's the dessert and not the appetizer, is the best way to avoid the #1 mistake we can all make. More on that a little bit later. Because how we practice connecting deeper with clarity, explore ideal compatibility more quickly, magnetize and accelerate our attraction better, use effective communication more easily, and perfect our timing to explode unbelievable chemistry that can flow for years and decades are the signature soulmate method success difference markers. And now on to the signature soulmate method steps, which are built on taking your heart space desires and dreams and being able to magnetize that attraction and use keys to open up those doors to live in true lasting love. Step 1, clarity of vision, the blueprint and the soul map that allows you to align pieces in the right direction for deeper clarity. Because the right clarity starts with a soulmate attraction blueprint. It's the exact who, what, and why of your ideal dream partner, soulmate, and twin flame. It's the essentials. It's your exact ingredients in the right proportions and the right recipe for you, specific and unique to who you are, what you're all about, what you want and you don't want. And then you add your soul map onto that, which is your unique soulmate alchemy heart space language mapped out in simple words and phrases. Because the soulmate attraction blueprint is very straightforward. It's your likes, your dislikes, your wants and your don't wants, your must-haves and your deal breakers mapped out. Then drill deeper to the traits, the behaviors, the lifestyle, the type of person, the financial status, the age, the stage, and the phase of life of the ideal dream partner you want. And why this is so important is because otherwise Mr. Random Possibility shows up in our lives. Or we use conventional connection and we turn it on and we turn it off and we miss opportunities and miss signals and we end up with that hot, cold, or push-pull behaviors. Or we don't explore compatibility deep enough and it ends up being a hit-and-miss process with surprises down the road that can turn into landmines and heartbreak. Or the communication is lacking clarity and isn't effective, so we end up in those places of misunderstandings, fights, arguments, and anger. And if there is chemistry and compatibility, it can disappear quickly. Because the problem is there are literally millions of men out there to try out, and we don't have the time, the energy, or the desire to go through enough of them to find the one using conventional trial and error approaches. Because that can take years and decades, and we'll end up doing repeated relationship redo loops. What most people do wrong is they will try digital dating and they'll troll hundreds or thousands of profiles to get to something that might fit. Or they get set up with friends of friends or, someone who knows a great guy from work, and then somewhere you meet someone, it starts off good, you start dating until you get down the road at some point, and then and only then discover something about ABC because of their XYZ. And almost always this ends up being a compatibility piece, a values piece, an integrity piece, or a communication issue. And that can all be fixed and shifted so you move in the right direction better, easier, and quicker. When Lillian came to me, she had a history of either dating zeros or having zero dates for a long period of time. She wanted to get past that place because she was tired and fed up with the dating. She wanted to meet her soulmate and she wanted to start a family, and she was a successful and independent, capable and competent professional woman. We started working together one-on-one. Within 3 weeks, she started making those shifts and noticed a difference in herself. In 8 weeks, she was back out there dating again with the right tools, getting the right skills and using this approach. And she started dating the man who turned out to be her soulmate in just 13 weeks. She married him a year later, and they have a beautiful daughter and a happy partnership as a result of the one-on-one work in this method. Step 2, how to magnetize and supercharge attraction so you can accelerate the process. Because you want the right magnet working for you to align everything, and that starts with your imagination in action. Because your imagination, coupled with tapping into your energy in a specific and focused way, allows you to tap into the full power of the law of attraction to magnetize and supercharge your soulmate attraction. There are 3 powerful techniques that will ignite and energize your soulmate attraction into a place of hyperdrive so you can attract in the one now, not someday. It's a simple recipe and it's easy to use. It's your imagination coupled with your ability to visualize, idealize scenarios and then infuse it with peak emotional heart love energy that equals accelerated supercharged magnetic attraction. When you use these magnetized alignment techniques, you'll align your energy, you'll supercharge your attraction, you'll energize your desire, and you'll magnetize your vision. And why this is so important is because normally our energy out there is usually dispersed and not focused. We're 100% energy, but we don't know how to tap into it. Everyday conscious, rational mind focus is on what's missing, on what's wrong, or what we have to get done in our busy lives. Our history creates baggage and resistance. We want to be able to tell a better story, and we can do it with these techniques because a better story will put you in a better state, which will then start moving that energy from the inside out, and you'll get new results and desired outcomes instead. Because when we focus that energy on purpose, with passion, and by design, our soulmate magnetic attraction power is accelerated. The problem is we literally have up to 10,000 thoughts a day, each and every day. So usually we have the same 10,000 thoughts each and every day, and they dominate our thinking and our emotional landscape. It's kind of like Groundhog Day over and over again if you've seen that movie with Bill Murray and Andy McDowell. So we usually keep replaying the same old stuff in our minds over and over again with the same old thoughts and the same old feelings, which only keeps the past alive in the present, predicting that our future will look a lot more like our past than we really want it to. And what most people do wrong is they look at how things are or how things were, and they don't know how to stop, shift, and redirect those trains of thoughts and those feelings. We look at our life, our own lives, other people's lives, and we dish out the faults, the failures, and the criticisms 100 to 1,000 times more often than their positive complement opposites. So what that means is our dreams, our hopes, and our heart's desire energetically and in our actions, our thoughts, and our behaviors take a back seat, and we end up filling it in with instant gratifications to make sense of the void, because of course we have busy, hectic lives. When Kelly came to me, she was actually in an imploding relationship, and she was getting tired and fed up with arguments, but she was also afraid of breaking up or making another relationship mistake where she had to start all over. She wanted to get married, she wanted to start a family, but she was really scared and scarred and afraid because of her past relationship outcomes. She saw the relationship she was in as a soulmate opportunity, and she wanted to make shifts and move in the right direction. We started working together one-on-one. In 6 short weeks, her partner noticed amazing shifts in her, and within 12 weeks, the whole relationship had shifted, and she mentioned that the method and the coaching were working wonders in her physical and emotional levels of intimacy and in the relationship. And just 6 short months later, they were engaged. And within 1 year of starting to work one-on-one, they had moved into their first home and they had gotten married. Solutions are there. They can be better, easier, and quicker. We just need to know the what, the how, and the when. Step 3, upgrading the tools, knowing what, how, and when. Because the right tools upgrade will have us knowing exactly what to do, how to do it, and when to use it. Upgrading your connection skills and your communication tools means you'll be able to stop wasting time, you'll be able to start reading the incoming signals accurately, and you'll be able to send clear and clean signals going out, both verbally and non-verbally. You'll be able to communicate in alignment without misunderstandings, and you build a rock-solid communication foundation on respect, openness, clarity, and kindness to reflect more of the true you. Why this is so important is because we end up spending so much of our time attempting to figure out in life what's going on, lacking clarity. What does that mean? What is he trying to say? What is he trying to do? So we end up with this bag of mixed signals, missed signals, and missed understandings, and eventually that leads to missed opportunities, both in terms of small and big pieces. And that missed opportunities turns into bad timing, or worse, into fighting and arguing, and then we end up in some cooling off period, the waiting or the hot cold and the push-pull. We can shift all that. Remember, the single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. When you fix that, you fix everything. The problem is there are literally millions of cells in our bodies that are self-programmed in our neurology and our behavior, and we are hardwired for adulthood between the ages of 0 and 7 and 0 and 10 years of age in all of us. This comes from both behavioral and cognitive psychology. So we need to be able to level the playing field with specific tools and specific skills, because even though things start out great, then somehow, some way, they always end up in the wrong places. And by the time we figure out how to start re-clicking and understanding one another, maybe time, trust, and love ends up in short supply. So it ends up being too late, and so we sink or we end up alone again and again. And when it comes down to tools, one of the biggest problems with serious issues in today's modern world for both men and women has to do with not understanding how the yin and the yang work together and how they need to be able to be balanced out, especially in our romantic equations. It's the #1 core romantic puzzle piece that's not taught in today's modern relationship dynamics, and it has a huge impact on how it plays out in our bodies and our emotions and in our lives. And with this method, we'll be able to address that easily, because the yin-yang imbalance issues show up every day in our lives, and the most common version of that for women is the yin is missing and there's too much yang. For men, it's the opposite. The yang is missing and there's too much yin. Women are out there in the professional world equally with men. Knowing how to balance the yin and the yang, especially in romantic and intimate relationships, is key to success. And it ends up costing us having healthy bodies, healthy emotions, and healthy relationships. When you just get a little bit of information and understand how to use this, it can make all the difference in the world. Because yin is that soft, gentle, passive energy that creates a cooperative and a complementary environment and theme around you. Yang, on the other hand, is that hard, assertive, and controlling energy that creates more of a competitive and a combative environment. And this goes all the way back to being hardwired in our DNA from the caveman times. Think hunter versus gatherer. So here's a powerful tool to be able to cut through all that in your dating and your relationships. And that is how to send the yin and the yang verbal signals on purpose and by design. When you understand these energy streams, you can verbally address them quickly and easily. You can start a sentence or a communication or a phrase with I feel and or I don't want, and those will be the yin signature energy verbal signals. You start that with I think and I want, and those are the yang signature energy verbal signals. And why this is so important is that you'll be able to go on your dates and realize that you want to be able to shift from your daytime professional life, shooting for everything that you do during the day, and then shift direction to be able to be in your yin, because you want to be able to attract in the right yang complement. Or if you want to be a yang woman, then just realize that maybe you'll end up attracting in a yin man. Once you understand this, you can fix the imbalance. And why this is so important is this imbalance creates big issues in our lives. It's one of the main reasons why so many men end up being emotionally unavailable, immature, incompetent, or broken, and why so many women end up physically exhausted and drained or emotionally heartbroken. It's the dis-ease, the lack of balance and polarity that creates the dis-ease, and in turn, down the road, ends up in surgeries or people on meds all the time. Here's another powerful tool to be able to use that's in this method. You'll be able to start using this today, and that's knowing how to say no. One of the biggest issues with a lot of the women that I work with one-on-one and a lot of the people I've spoken to is learning how to say no for women can be incredibly challenging, because oftentimes things lead to explosions and just immaturity, and all kinds of issues come up. So knowing how to say no can be as simple as easy as using the speak your piece and keep the peace script. Because unless you have to call 911, a doctor, or a lawyer, this one script can fix almost any situation, and it's 5 simple phrases filled in with the details. Thank you, fill in the details. I appreciate and respect, fill in the details. Then the communication, I don't feel or I don't want, if you want to come from your yin. And then, will you respect and honor my heart and my wishes, to get the agreement frame. And then, do you have any other ideas, suggestions, or activities we can do instead? This one script can be a wonderful solution to so many issues and problems out there. And here's an example of how to put it together on a date. Thank you so much for bringing me here. I appreciate and respect that you want to have a good time. I really don't want to be around this environment or these behaviors. Instead, I'd like to go home or do something else or go somewhere else. Will you honor my wishes? Yes or no? And what other ideas do you have about what we can do instead? This one script can really shift so many things in your life, especially when it comes to dating and relationships. You can finally speak your piece before things escalate emotionally or get out of hand and blow up on you, and you can keep the peace while sharing important, touchy, challenging, or delicate information about what's on your mind or what's in your heart. And this one script will allow you to do all this because it contains essential pieces that allow you to speak your piece and keep the peace. You show gratitude with the thank you. You practice acknowledgement with I appreciate and I respect. You share information from an effective communication standpoint from either your yin or your yang. And then you ask for agreement, respectfully requesting and aligning your communication with an agreement frame. And then if there isn't agreement, you're able to create options and choices for win-win outcomes to be able to be found. Just these two tools with their unique pieces alone and by themselves can shift your relationship and dating dynamics immediately and dramatically if you know how and when to use them correctly. And finally, one of the biggest fatal regrets we can all fall into is the number one mistake to avoid in dating and relationships, which starts with the passion of the love drugs and ends with regrets, and that's getting naked too soon. The number one dating and relationship mistake all of us get sucked into doing, I know I have, is when the love drugs from physical chemistry blow up, then you are flooding your system with oxytocin, dopamine, and other pheromones, and you'll be confusing physical DNA chemistry for lasting compatibility. In your dating game, if you just realize it's the dessert and not the appetizer, you'll avoid the number one biggest mistake most of us fall into. What most people do wrong is they'll keep dating and relating in the same ways over and over again, hoping to get different results. Or we might shift some of the things like what we wear or how we look or some of the things we say and do through trial and error. But we don't do the deeper work from the inside out to fix the connection and the communication issues, so whatever chemistry and compatibility is there can either quickly burn out or slowly fade away. When Laura Ann came to me, she was really living in a place of fear of failure in her life. And she really wanted to be able to move forward and wasn't finding much success. She was failing at her career and she was failing at her romantic relationships, and she just wanted to be able to jumpstart, hit the reset button on both her career and her heart space. We started working together one-on-one on both her soulmate issues and her career issues to get some level of success going. In our very first session, week 1, we pinpointed a core issue. Turns out Laura Ann was saying yes to everybody else and was saying no to herself. And in that process, we were able to shift so many dynamics and start putting these tools and this method and this approach to work for her immediately right there on that first session. In the first 2 weeks, Laura started making really dramatic shifts. Within 6 months, she was in a fabulous relationship after not dating at all, and she had 5 agents working for her professionally, and she was able to make more money in her career than she had ever thought possible before. So shifting into a successful relationship and totally turning around her career, all using these steps and this method and this approach, from everything not working out to everything in the right direction in just 6 short months. Amazing stuff. Step 4, the right mindset. To be able to resolve the past and treat it like it's history, because that's where we want it. The right mindset allows you to shift and dissolve the baggage that we all carry around with us. And the problem is, and why this is so important, is because we keep retelling those stories about what happened, and we keep reliving our past and dragging it forward into today and tomorrow. Those resentments, those triggers, and that anger can quickly resurface, and we can replay and repeat old patterns until we let go of the baggage. When we find ourselves in a place where we can resolve and dissolve that baggage, those old stories, through forgiveness, through acceptance, and through letting go and releasing, we can live without the fear of the past coming back to bite us, and with healthy boundaries and healthy emotional habits instead. And why this is so important, because when we keep telling those old stories about what happened in the past, we keep the past alive. So yesterday is not history. It stays alive and it lives in today, in our mind, in our heart, and in our current life and lives. Yesterday's journey, when it actually happened, it probably hurt like heck. And yes, it is important to remember what happened to us, but it doesn't have to define who we become or who we want to be. The problem is we don't want to let go because we're afraid it might happen again. So we have to keep telling those same old stories to remain vigilant and to protect ourselves against the hurt of pain and fear of what happened, ABC, because of XYZ. But these same walls of protection also keep away ideal dream men and soulmates and twin flames. And it keeps living in true lasting love away from us because we've put up those walls to defend ourselves. We have trouble moving from the doormat to the welcome mat mindset, and we want to be able to shift that. What most people do wrong is we do some of this work, but we find that we're often still triggered easily at times by someone today about similar stuff that happened yesteryear or a long time ago. This especially plays out in nuclear family dynamics. We end up treating the symptoms of the fear and the hurt and the pain without getting to the underlying core issues, because once we get to those core issues, we can release it all. Otherwise, we end up tackling this stuff one by one, and then over time, enough of this stuff builds up and it just ends up being too much. And this is where we end up in the repeated relationship redos. The same or a similar bus will keep coming by until we decide to shift away from our triggers and our hurts towards growing love in our path, where we allow ourselves to forgive, to release, and to heal. And that's exactly where Alexis was when she came to me. She was in emotional distress about another failed relationship, and she was a single mom with a grown daughter, and she knew something was missing in her life, and she wanted to find her soulmate. She wanted to very much meet and invite that special someone into her life, and she knew she needed help. But the past was really just, hard for her to let go of. It was a big step for a strong and independent woman to reach out for help, but she did. She saw a YouTube video I had up on my channel, and she realized, I think this is the guy I want to work with. We started working one-on-one after having our introductory call, and immediately I said, Alexis, you need to keep telling yourself, I deserve to live my dreams. You just bring the courage and the willingness, and we'll work through everything. In the first month, her grown daughter, saw a dramatic shift in her mom. And within 6 months, she had shifted her mindset completely and opened up her heart to soulmate possibilities and was dating actively again after having all kinds of resistance and baggage around dating. She had shifted to realize that maybe she was ready to kiss some frogs, in her own words, to get to the prince, LOL. It took a little bit over a year to break down all the resistance and the baggage, but she found her special man, and she's really in a much better, happier place now, working towards engagement and marriage. Good stuff. Step number 5, the right environment is everything. Why is the right environment so important? It's because our physical space and our social landscape and our emotional environments have a profound impact on what results we get, and a profound impact on what we end up believing is possible, attempting, and achieving. And at each level, what we want to be able to do is eliminate the temptations, the distractions, the negativity, the corrosive elements, while promoting the clarity, the focused priorities on what we want instead, and grow into that inspired, motivational, positive support for our dreams to be able to realize themselves and to feel good about ourselves rather than focus on that other stuff. because the wrong environment almost every time spells disaster. Remember what happens when relationships give us what we don't want? It's like those fires we have to keep putting out over and over again. And that's how my world and my dreams crumbled in 1994. It was because I wasn't paying attention to my environment. It had gotten corrosive and a lot of things were negative, and it just wasn't working out. And then relationship fatigue set into marriage one, and it was all over. I ended up in that empty, heartbroken, and just completely unfulfilled space, feeling like I was destined to be forever alone. I felt very unloved, like I was broken with a bunch of pieces missing. And the problem is, when we end up in those negative and resistant environments, we just don't have the support. We just don't know how to keep a consistent, manageable set of balanced routine of habits alive that can support our success without that positive atmosphere and environment around us. And creating it by ourselves can be tremendously challenging. We need to get support and tools to make those shifts. Sometimes the problem is in our own routines and our own mindsets and the triggers from the past, and add on to that the other stuff, and at other times the family, the friends, the work environment, and even the stuff we surf online or watch on social media or TV or in the movies. It doesn't support that positive, constructive place. It tears things down and creates resistance. The problem is, shifting it flying solo will usually end up giving up. It's what we do with New Year's resolutions. Our environments can either support our dreams, our desires, our hopes, our happiness, our successes of being able to fulfill our heart's desire, or our environments can be corrosive and undermine us towards disconnection and despair and a cold indifference to relationships of all kinds. We just go numb, or a sense of regret and resignation and a sense of longing for unfulfilled love because it's just not there. We end up living in solitude and or sadness, feeling alone and kind of settling for where we're at, whether we're in or out of relationships. And we eventually end up afraid of failure, and we also end up too scared or scarred to try again. So we don't want to end up there. And what most people do wrong is they'll change one or two pieces and they'll stop there. They'll give up. They'll settle. Think of New Year's resolutions and how quickly they disappear. It's because our environments don't support our success. When we don't get clear and we don't take strategic action to align our values and our dreams with our actions and our environments for our success, we can't get there. And that ends up meaning that we don't value our dreams enough to clean it up at our core in those environmental places. For all of us, those expectations start high and they start creeping lower and lower. And then we make a change, one or two pieces, and we stop there and we end up settling for less than. We don't want to do that. We don't want to let our environments become safe or safe enough and grow content and okay with as is. And that's what we keep telling ourselves. We start off wanting more and we end up settling for less. Then over time we grow old, we grow tired, we grow complacent, we stop growing, and maybe it's too late if we wait too long. Otherwise, another way is we distract ourselves. We focus elsewhere, or we focus on other people and their problems instead of what's going on for us, or we think that one good spring cleaning will get the job done. We peel back one layer, we get motivated, we call it a success, and we stop. And then the buildup starts all over again, and eventually we get numb. So the right environment is crucial to supporting our success. It's true with New Year's resolutions, it's true with diets, it's true with weight loss, it's true with fitness, and it's true with relationship dynamics and finding true lasting love. Because we want to be able to do it right. So get the right sequence in order and use the right recipe and approach. Practice connection to go deeper and be clearer first. Then explore ideal compatibility quicker and second, and use effective communication from start to finish. Then you'll be able to explode chemistry at just the right time and keep it flowing for years and decades. It'll be like the honeymoon that keeps on going, keeps on glowing, keeps on giving, and keeps on growing. Use the signature soulmate method to get you there now, not someday. Get those 5 steps and put them to use so you can fix and fill in the missing pieces of your love puzzle. Get that clarity of vision to grow more clear, capable, confident, and competent so you get self-empowered. Magnetize your attraction to accelerate and supercharge the process so you end up not waiting anymore and you let the law of attraction do the work for you. Upgrade the tools and develop the skills so you can stop wasting time and know exactly how to repel the wrong guys and be able to invite in the right guys. Use the right mindset to shift and allow the past to become history, to clear out the past, the baggage, and the resistance, and use the right environment, cleaned up and tuned up, to make room for the one to walk into your life once and for all. And another tool for you to use, a simple smart dating checklist. 3 strikes and get out. Establish good connection and build good rapport, either digitally or live in person. Gauge the signals and the signs from the information you get, either live in person or via the communications you get digitally from the dating sites or the dating apps or online. Then ask your 30 best questions for getting the basic compatibility exploration pieces done, including your must-haves and your deal breakers. And if you don't have solid connection and basic compatibility established after 3 dates or after 10 or so communications digitally, then get out and use the speak your piece, keep the peace script to get out of just about any situation. Because you know what? Life can end up getting us in a place where we're tired and frustrated, but that also makes us ready for change. And the Signature Soulmate method is all about making a difference now. Because life can either feel like that Rubik's Cube where you keep turning things, you keep going forward, or you think you're going forward, but it feels like you're on that little wheel spinning and spinning and spinning. You get a couple of pieces lined up, doesn't work out. A couple of other pieces lined up, and you keep trying, trial and error, hit and miss. Why not go with an approach more like a jigsaw puzzle, where you put one piece next to the other? Think of a jigsaw puzzle where on the box is the picture with clarity of what it's supposed to look like. That's what this method is. Then you take out the pieces, you flip them over, you get them all down, and you start putting one piece next to the other. And slowly but surely, day after day, you put the pieces together because you have a roadmap, because you have clarity, because you have steps, and you're just working it one next to the other. And that can make all the difference in the world. Remember what it feels like or what it felt like with those disappointments. Getting sad, getting mad, being fed up with the games, with the fake profiles, the phony people, the heartbreak, the arguing and the fighting, the getting tired and feeling numb, hurt, rejected, betrayed, empty, and exhausted. You don't want another broken and screwed up and beyond repair situation and relationship, and you don't want to be alone either. So get there. Otherwise, that unwanted, lonely, forgotten place just ends up being somewhere we visit over and over again. And I don't know about you, but it sucks being there, and I'm glad I found a way out of it. Because from the womb to the tomb, relationships define our life experiences, and the quality of our life, in great measure, depends on the quality of our relationships. So let's move it forward. Because the Signature Soulmate method, it's unique, it's powerful, and it's simple, so you can find, attract, and live with your ideal dream partner in a loving partnership as soon as possible. Because some of the costs of repeating patterns of the past means you'll keep exploding chemistry too soon and end up regretting it again. You'll end up doing relationship redos until we get turned off or turn off our heart space and maybe even give up on love. And we end up passing up on real intimacy that lasts, and we end up without our dream partner. Nobody wants that. Some of the ongoing information gathering costs are you keep exploring more books, more internet searches, and more YouTube videos. It's hit and miss and trial and error. When we don't know what we don't know, it's slow progress. And along the way, we'll still end up blowing up situations and missing opportunities, but we'll do it one by one by one. It really is like gambling, and unless you're really good at high stakes gambling, it's winning the game of relationship roulette. So don't wait until it's too late, because when you look out there, the possibilities and the choices can lead to frustration, overwhelm, and confusion. It's endless. When you do a Google search for Find Soulmate, you'll get 38,200,200 results entries. Which way do you turn? And some of the costs of continuing to fly solo mean missing out on that cuddling on weekends or at nighttime, waking up alone every morning or going to bed alone every night, and convenience dating to just have that +1 for special social gigs and family engagements. Or you'll fill in the void like I did with that longing and that hole with binging on movies, on food, on sex, on Netflix, on alcohol, and other diversions. And finally, the cost of looking in the rearview mirror is when we go it alone, you won't know what it's costing you until you look back And maybe by then it's too late. So ask yourself 2 better questions to help shift the equation right here, right now. Do you want to end up alone in 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 years? If the answer is no, great. Do you want to play it safe to avoid the pain and the risk? If the answer is no, great. Then realize what the cost is of not fixing this now. It's emotionally staying stuck or ending up alone. It's the cost of the fighting, the mending the broken pieces, putting them back together, the heartache, the heartbreak, the breakups, the loneliness, the longing, the feeling wounded, scared, and scarred. It's the cost of missing out from our lives on true love. No soulmate, no special best friend for life, no twin flame adventures, no amazing intimacy, and no sharing of dreams, daily life, and life's beautiful pleasures. It's the cost of not having somebody there physically and financially for partnership support, somebody to lift you up, somebody to hug you, somebody to hold you, and somebody to have your back, both in terms of taking out the trash, being able to help you out of the car, as well as walking down that road together. Instead, it'll be the cost of decades of lost time of walking the road alone. And who wants to do that? I know I didn't, so there is a better way, and you can use this method to get there. And finally, the biggest cost is that unfulfilled heart's desire, where we end up with regret, despair, and resignation. We start with that beautiful, full heart space alive, and it starts growing darker and dimmer, and then it breaks. So get there now instead, not someday, which may never come. Empower yourself and leverage yourself for success. Our dreams are out there waiting for us. Tap your universe of abundance and say yes. This method works if you work it, and this method will create domino effects and positively cascade all kinds of fixes into all areas of your life, like it did for Laura Ann simultaneously in her career and in her love life. You can leverage yourself for success. The reality is, we need to be able to set aside a couple hours per week to make the shifts. We need to get clarity. We need to upgrade the tools. We need to find our courage and our willingness to go beyond the place of hurt and pain of the past. We need to lift ourselves up into new possibilities. Because as the time keeps ticking, the years keep passing. So you have a choice. Decide. Do you want to stay where you're at, or do you want to move forward? Make a decision, take action, and invest in true, lasting love. Because you must invest and upgrade to that soulmate level. And we have 2 roads to travel to be able to try and build successful soulmate attraction and to live in loving relationships. We can either figure it out ourselves over years or decades, flying solo, as we gather more information and keep searching with conventional trial and error methods, or we can get specific guidance from someone who's paid the price before us, someone who's walking that path now, someone who's helped others successfully and can help fast track us to solid success with quick wins and long-term happiness. Now, we may be able to do it alone, but we have to figure it out as things come up one by one by one. The issues, the situations, the circumstances, the symptoms. Especially important and impactive is when we have key moments and pivot points. We want to know how to do it, versus getting experienced and expert guidance, which will bring that focus, aligned approach with the support and the help that we need, because then we'll be more capable and we can more easily find our blind spots and our blocks quickly. We'll be motivated and inspired to take action consistently, and we'll move past and through our fears into our dreams. We'll get exact direction tailored to who we are and where we are right now. The good news is, you don't have to stay where you're at or keep flying solo. You can find your ideal dream partner and the one. You can accelerate into supercharged magnetic attraction. You can know how to connect and communicate to build and grow true lasting love in your ideal dream partnership with Mr. Perfect for you. So ask yourself, what's finding and living in true love worth to me today, right now? When you ask that question, realize that 20 years from now, you'll be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the ones you did do. So throw off the bow line, sail away from that safe harbor, and catch the trade winds of true love in your sails. Explore, dream, and discover. How I can help is I've set aside some time so we can connect and personally talk about how to move things forward in your life today. The cost? Free. This is your signature soulmate discovery session, which is a gifted value of $387. You do have to apply, and it does have to be the right fit for you to move forward. Now, this is for someone who is ready. You must be committed to the process. You must bring courage and willingness to the call. You must be serious about shifting your situation and not letting those old patterns and habits short-circuit this method and your success. You must be willing to invest in yourself to make love a priority in your life. And I'm doing this because I am truly committed to helping as many people as I can to be able to live in true lasting love, because it's my passion, my mission, and my calling. I've lived in those dark places. I've picked myself back up. There's no reason anybody else has to be there ever again. On this call, you're going to get complete clarity on what to start doing and what to stop doing to move things forward in your life right now. Then after the call, if you want me to help you some more, and if we're a good fit for one another, I might invite you to become one of my exclusive clients. And if we do end up working together, you'll be put through the same method training course as Lillian, Kelly, Laura, Ann, Alexis, and that all of my successful students have been through. It's designed to help you get those quick wins and long-term results better, easier, and quicker by investing a couple of hours per week, utilizing streamlined weekly training modules that are maximized for leverage results. So I fully expect you to start getting results as soon as possible, because I want you to be able to imagine yourself as you would like to be, doing what you want to do, and then each day take one step towards your dreams, because one morning you will find you are the person you dreamed of, doing what you wanted to do. In front of you, in front of all of us, are possibilities here today, and also in front of us, in front of you, is the cost of missed opportunities. There's true love, and then there's the other road that might end up in that place of feeling discarded, used, broken, and left on a beach somewhere by yourself, with that heart that feels like it's growing darker and darker, feeling like you're trapped and can't get out, with a broken heart, missing pieces, feeling like it's game over. Or you can live your dream starting now. If you click on the link on your screen right now, you'll go to the application page and fill out the application to be able to book your call. Or you can go to findtruelovenow.info/apply and apply for your call. If you bring the courage and the willingness and the desire to set sail today, you can find true love now. Either click the link or go to findtruelovenow.info/apply, and we'll go from there. You know, as I said, 4 weddings, 3 wives, 2 divorces, 1 amazing son, and 0 regrets. It's been a long and winding road, and now having an amazing story and having lived it, it really feels powerful to be able to help other people move their lives and shift them forward. You know, for me, I hit a lot of bucket list items. I was very diligent, a good student, went to a great university, met my first soulmate and my first wife in college. I married my college sweetheart. I proposed to her on bended knee with champagne and a rose in Florence, Italy. And then 10 years later, I was in a devastating breakup because I didn't have this stuff, and I had to learn the hard way. Then I found another amazing woman, and she turned out to be wife number 2, which is V 2.0 in this slide. I married my rebound relationship because I was so lonely. I was full of heartache, and I was really heartbroken, and I ended up settling for less than. I don't see it as a mistake. I don't see it as a regret. It's just something I had to go down that road because I didn't know any better. I didn't know what I didn't know. I started to get some of this stuff, but it wasn't all together. And then fast forward 10 years, there I was again, divorced. To go through that multiple times, I mean, it's just shattering. I felt so broken, beaten down, hopeless. I was like, forget it. No, I don't need any more pain and any more suffering in my life. No more for me mode. You know, along the way, I also had this longing, and I knew there had to be a better way. And after investing over $60,000 and 10 plus years of my life on books and seminars and workshops, you know, I kept searching until I was able to put things together in a wonderful way. And I had to pick myself back up off the failure floor one day at a time. I focused on my son, I focused on my passion for coaching and presenting, and I was able to develop these 4 core pieces in a unique way and put them in the 5-step signature soulmate method, and I started coaching women. And then along the way, I met my soulmate. And at that point, I was practicing what I was preaching. I knew my whats, my hows, my whens, and my whys. And I used these 4 core tool pieces and this method to be able to bring, attract in, find, and then live in true lasting love. I married Naseet in 2010, and we renewed our vows in 2013. Truly living my dreams. The path was long, it was arduous, it was tough, it was heartbreaking, and I got there. You don't have to go down that kind of a road. And if you've been there before, here's a wonderful opportunity to shift that. findtruelovenow.info/apply or click the link on your screen. As far as dream partnerships goes, here's a little bit more for you. A little extra credit. Dream partnerships are all about getting clear, deciding what you want, and then taking action on that decision in a specific way. So get clear on what you want, decide why it's important so you can attract in your dreams and keep persevering to bring that courage and that willingness, and then have the ability to work through it all. Do yourself a favor, design a blueprint and a plan. Find a way to create accelerated attraction. This method offers it to you. And then just go out there and explore more. You want to be able to take action by practicing the tools, the techniques, and the skills that you've already learned in this seminar, in this webinar, or from somewhere before. And then use these tools, and especially use the speak your piece, keep the peace script to say no respectfully and peacefully to get into that better place and space. And if you want to do some more extra credit, here's a wonderful way for you to tune into an even deeper level of success, both for our call, if you apply, and if you don't apply, this little recipe right here will help you tremendously and shift your life moving forward. Write down key questions because it's a wonderful place to start so you can get into your current challenges. Then think, reflect, and write down your insightful answers. Once you write down the answers, look at those answers and then get clear on what the solutions are that come from those answers. And then based on those solutions that you think are going to work for you, develop an action plan and a process. And then use the tools, the techniques, and the skills from this webinar, from other stuff you gained before. Put it all in play so you can put the process into practice and take action on it. You'll get results. Just keep at it. Start making your dreams come true today as soon as possible. Don't wait. Don't procrastinate. Don't put it off. You'll talk yourself out of it and end up in that it's okay, I'm fine as is place. And deep down inside, if you know you're not, then do something about it. It's been wonderful. Thank you so much for this time that you've shared with me. I very much appreciate you and respect your time. I hope you've gotten tremendous value. Go back and look at some of these pieces, watch this webinar again, write them down, or I'll see you on the call after you apply. I don't take all the applications. They have to be the right fit, so just understand if you apply and you don't end up on a call, it's because I want to make sure that we're the right fit for each other. But I do wish everyone out there amazing dating success and relationship mastery. This is Milan saying thank you, bless you, and I wish you the best. Bye for now.